Today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the official tier list for Anime Rangers X. But before I go do that, would you guys like to have a chance to go win a free Game Pass? All you need to do is drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment your Roblox username. I go have multiple Game Passes every week. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. I want to make something very clear that this is actually an official tier list for the game, so it was not made by me. If we would like me to make my own tier list, I'll definitely down to do so at some point. Just tell me down below in the comments. This is the official tier list for the game. It's in the actual Discord server. So this video, it's more for people that can't see a Discord server or just want a really good tier list on the game right now. So this tier list is made by this person today, Motivy. I have no clue how to say that. But hey, I'll maybe put like a screenshot of their user up on screen or something like that. So all the credit to them, all the reasoning behind all of this is exactly from them. So anyway, I'm going to put the tier list up on screen now. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys actually like what actually everything means. But before we do that, it's probably best to give a quick explanation about how this tier list is broken down. So it's slightly different to the normal tier list. Basically, there's something called goated tank tops. It's basically the best tank in the game. Tanks are really useful. You only really ever need one on a team at maximum, but you just have a tank at the front that's there purely to take damage. You then have B to A to S tier, and that's basically because why would you use anything in C to D tier? I suppose the logic behind that is. So B tier units, they're good units, not the best in the game, but they are decent and they can become good by themselves. You then have A tier units, which are usually really good units. And then we have S tier, which these are pretty much the best of the best units. These ones are just all around really good. And then we have support. Now, these are the best support units that you can get in the game. They're just going to have all different effects, but hey, they're the best support ones to go for. And then we have overall meta. That means currently right now, these are the units that you should be using pretty much for your team. They're the best ones to have. Of course, you use alterations in this, and you may want to mix it up. You may not have all of these, and you don't need to have all of these. Anyway, though, it's time for the tier list up on screen. And now, you can see it here right now. And let's go ahead and start going through this tier list right now. There's a lot of different things to cover in it. So I don't really want to miss anything. So let's just kind of go through the tier list to begin with. So at the very bottom, you have a tank. I mean, that's self-explanatory, like I explained. It's the best tank in the game to go ahead and obtain currently. Then we have for the B tier, so we have Itatori. Itatori has 2 placements after the buff. It's still expensive, but still very mid. It just isn't crazy. It doesn't do anything too like extreme, but you can put Dace down too, so it's a decent unit to go and get. And then we have Shank. Shank's a mid unit. He doesn't really do much. He's decent, but he's not the best in the game. You have Gojo. The Gojo has some problems from the other ones. It has a nice overall AoE ability, but yeah, there's better versions of Gojo. We have SJW, and then basically what this guy's went ahead and said about this is its second placement is one play. Basically, it has like a one playment with it if it has a good trait on it. And it's only basically has a chance, basically 50% chance of winning, because you don't know if you know that second placement down there. And it's just very expensive for a beginner unit to use. Basically, a little bit some of that, and it may get a little bit confusing when I said that, is it's just not the best. There's ways to get better around it. And it's still a good unit, by the way. All these in B tier are good. There's just a lot better versions of units to get. Then we're going to go Anking. He just leaves it up with a rework. He doesn't really do much. He's like kind of a little bit too spread out. He doesn't really excel in anything. But he's not like terrible at anything. He's just a little bit too cheap. If maybe it's a little more expensive, maybe they made the stats better, or something along the lines actually worth it. We've got Katatori. Its main downside, it's got slow speed, and it's SPA. And its health, just they're kind of average. There's nothing too good on him. You can make, of course, all these units really good, by the way. You have Dio. Dio's going to go here just because his stats are actually all pretty well-rounded. Again, nothing too crazy. So most things in D tier, it's either because they are really good at something, but really bad at something else. Or they're just very average. Like, they're well-rounded, but they're average there. We then have A tiers. Now, A tier's getting a little bit better. So if Itchy, and it's probably only A tier Itchy is because of the one placement it has. It's got really good range. It's got some good DPS with it as well. And its overall stats pretty decent. Broly is such a good unit. Probably the best tank to use if you're a beginner in the game. And he's also doing quite a bit of DPS. That'll be really helpful. Bunny is a secret unit, and it's a good unit. That's kind of self-explanatory. It's a Bunny being there. Tasakumi, let me quickly read over what they said there. A lot of people will disagree with this, at least this is what this person's, but I'll make it clear, everything in this tier list is the official one. It's officially in the Discord right now. I'm trying to summarize it and get in some sort of explanation for people to see. It has a really high amount of DPS and has a lot of placement, so it can be really broken. There is ways it can be kind of bad. You do have to optimize it to be good enough to go ahead and be in A tier. Then we've got the S tier units, which let's go ahead and start off with Igris. Igris has a really good HP, and his DPS isn't too amazing, but with a high HP and a lower DPS, he is one of the best units in the game there. At least in that sense, of course, he could be improved. We have Rui. A lot of people may disagree with this. Again, they would have said with this, but when you go ahead and max out, has a very high amount of DPS. Also, the 3 placements. A lot of these, which you're going to notice, they're like strong units with multiple placements. Now, you could jumble at this tier list if you want to put different traits in some of these units. We have Gojo. Gojo kind of did get enough, so he isn't too good, but he still has a very nice range. He also has some evade on him, and it's still a pretty well-rounded unit. Broly, the nerf makes him very expensive to use, and his damage still also get nerfed, but he still has a really good amount of HP, and he really isn't too expensive to go ahead and get up. He's just quite expensive to place down. Saber, it's a really good, like, the shield to use there, but it doesn't really do much damage unless you're going ahead and pulling up some of its other stuff. Its ability is really good though. Tanjiro has 4 placements instead of the 5 it used to have. So hey, it's kind of decent there, but hey, it's a really good one. It's very well rounded, Tanjiro, and a high DPS. And then we're going to go on to the meta overall. Now for Yuta, actually first we actually do the sport ones. So the sport units, they all have different sports, so you can't really go ahead and say for which one. But some of them will go ahead and give you health. I'm pretty sure Bunny, I can show you guys what Bunny does if you want to see what the evolved Bunny Moon does. And evolved Bunny Moon, and that's the who check abilities again. If we go to Bunny, and then we click on Bunny and we do passive. The passive for Bunny, it'll gain 2% speed per kill, which isn't really too crazy, but the main thing is when a unit uses a skill and it hits the enemy, there's a 20% chance the enemy will stun. So you've got a bunch of units in a team, especially on multiple placements, the enemy can just get stunned. That stuns for 5 seconds as well, and if abilities are over 5 seconds, so if you get a little lucky, you can basically instantly stun the enemy, which again is very, very broken. And then for the top units there, we've got Madra. It's only got 2 placements down, but hey, it's a really strong one, got a nice skill, and is just a very easy unit to use, and it's pretty good. You've got Yuta, very good HP, very good damage. Its worst downside is its ability there, but other than that, it's really, really good to have there. High cooldown. We've got Ace. Ace has 3 placements, and he's got a lot of speed, so that's kind of what Ace excels there. Bunny, and this is the evolved Bunny, by the way, so Bunny is different when it evolves. It won't have all the stats that I just shown you on the screen there. We'll kind of win over Bunny, though. Same thing, though, very nice one to have there. And anyway, we're going to go ahead and leave that there. Hopefully I explained this well. I'm very sorry if some of that was a bit confusing. Of course, go check it out on the Discord. It goes into like so much better detail than me. It's in the official games, the Discord. But either way, though, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I am relatively new to this game, but I've been playing it quite a bit lately. And may notice that I've actually got some relatively decent stuff in it. And yeah, I've been grinding it quite a bit. Of course, for a lot of these units, I've only really used the ones I've kind of like mained, which are these ones. So that's why I know a lot about these guys. Don't know a crazy amount about the other ones, but honestly, different units are good at different stages in the game. This tier list is more just an overall guidance, so you don't have to follow this to a T, but it's just that at the current time, at least this video being uploaded, what are the better units to use, and now some of this, actually quite a lot, all of this is opinionated. Some of it, I mean, it's just obvious, and you can't really argue with it. Others that people may disagree with, say you disagree with the tier list down below, tell me. Also, if you want me to make my own tier list with my own opinions in, feel free to let me know. Anyway, guys, see you next one. Have a good one. Bye!